waxaad naga siisaa oo nooga hibaysaa qurrata acyun waxay indhuhu ku doogsadaan kuwa fiican ee wanaagsanna hormood nooga dhig saasay markaa odhan jireen walaalayaal awlaadda aynu u ducayno zamanka aynu joognaa waa zaman adag oo waqti adag meelaha lagu nool yahay waa meelo shar badan waa meelo dhib badan wax kastoo ilmuhu uu ku lumayo ayaa hareeraha ka xiga wax kastoo ilmuhu uu ku lumi lahaa ayaa guriga dhexdiisa uu ku arkaya ama loo shidaya ama uu ka daawanaya telefoonada ay wataan tiifiyada ay daawanayaan in badan khayr iyo wanaag waxaa laga yaabaa inayna waxa weeyaan ka daawan asbaabtii lagu lumayay way fara badan tahay inagu awlaadda aynu u ducayno qalbi soo jeego xaadira qalbi qawi ah khuduuc iyo khushuuc wata awlaadda aynu ugu ducayno intaynu ka sheekeyn lahayn awlaaddu inay lumeen ama aynu ka warrami lahayn inay xumaadeen oo hadalkeena ugu badan uu taa noqon lahaa aynu u ducayno ducada aynu badinno ducadu waa silaax ducadu waa hub cajiiba ducadu waa wax qof kastoo inaga mid uu heli karo ma aha xataa sabab dadka qaar helayaan qaarna ay waayaan ma aha innagoo dayacna oo la iman weyna oo ka caajisna mooyaane waa wuxuu qof kasta awoodayo oo uu karayo asbaabta cid kastaaba ay karaysa weeyaan haddana inta la waafajinayaa ay aada iyo aada u yar tahay dadka waxaa ugu awood waxa weeyaan ugu awood liita acjazu nnaas man cajaza can idducaa waxaa dadka ugu liito ugu awood yar ka ducada ka caajisa marka ducada awlaadda aynu aada iyo aada u farabadino in loo duceeyo waxaa kasoo horjeeda in la habaaro awlaadda yaan la habaarin inagu waynu habaarnaa oo habaarkii la yidhi yaan la habaarin ayaa hadalkeena iyo afkeena ku fara badan ducadii la yidhi ha loo duceeyana afkeena way ku yartaho way ka maqan tahay war hooyooyinka iyo aabbayaashu ilaahay subxaana wa tacaala ha ka cabsadaan awlaaddoodana ha u duceeyaan habaarkana ha ka ilaaliyaan ilmaha waxaa laga yaabaa habaarka aynu habaarayno inuu ku lumo inay sabab u noqoto ilmuhu inuu lumo mustaqbalkiisa adduunya u waayo kiisa aakhirana u waayo nabigeena waa inoo diiday calayhi الsalaatu wassalaam awlaadda oo la habaaro laa tadcuu calaa anfusikum nafihiina ha habaarina walaa tadcuu calaa awlaadikum awlaaddiina ha habaarina buu rasuulku leeyahay calayhi الsalaatu wassalaam walaa tadcuu calaa amwaalikum xoolihiina ha habaarina ha waafiqina saacad ducada la aqbalo oo addoonku intuu ilaahay wax weydiisto deeta ilaahayna uu ajiibayo wartaa ha ku beegmina iska ilaaliya waxaa laga yaabaa xilligaad habaartamayso inuu habaarku qalbigaaga ka soo go-o inay samadu furan tahay baa laga yaabaa habaarka caynkaasiya inuu ilmihii yaraa uu adduunkiisiina ku waayo aakhiradiisiina uu ku waayo ayaa dhacda cumar ibnu lkhadaab radia allahu tacaala canhu ayaa waxaa la soo wariyaa inuu arkay oday weyn oo gacantu ay qallashay markaasaa waxa uu ku wuri ma aladii asaaba yadak gacanta maxaa kaa helay deeta waxa uu ku wuri dacaa calaya abii fi ljaahiliya xilligii islaamka ka hor ayuu aabbahay i habaaray wuxuu igu habaaray gacantaasi inay qallasho deeta gacantiiba ay qallashay buu yiri cumar radia allahu tacaala canhu waxa uu yihi hada ducaau laabaa'i fi ljaahiliya fakayfa fi lislaam taasi waa habaarka waalidku ilmihiisa uu habaaro xilligii jaahiliga islaamka ka hor maxaad u malayn habaarka waalidku uu habaaro ilmihiisa xilliga islaamka iyo diinta islaamka ee qiimaha badan ay dadka u timid walaalayaal awlaadda habaarka aynu ka ilaalino ducana ha loogu bedelo ducadana aynu u farabadinno in badan awlaadda waynu ka cabannaa haddana sababtay ku waasheen ama ay ku xumaadeen waxaa laga yaabaa inay tahay habaarka inagu aynu habaarnay inay tahay ayaa markaa laga yaabaa fudayl ibnu ciyaad raximahullah oo culimmadii waaweynada salafkii hore ka mid ah ayaa waxaa dhacday nin baa markaa u yimid waxa uu ku yidhi ilmahaygii saasuu noqday oo wuu xumaaday oo ilmo fiican buu noqon waayey uu ka cawday yaa markaasa waxau ku yidhi war miyaad habaartay wax habaaraa oo ilmaha kaaga dhaco adigu aada habaartay ma jirtaa inta wuxuu ku yihi ha وحكورة اسكت هذيك أدوكي المها أنا بكها فسهادي هذا كاني إن المها أدوكي سئنوا فسهادو أما هو حماضة هذيك أمريكا صواب النقطة فكاسو حدون إساء إن أتكور رنتو وحويان إن المهس وحماضي عبد الله ابن المبارك بوها عبد الله ابن المبارك بوها دعوت عليه المهم ذا باري رسول هانا باري قال اذهب فقد أفسدته الله يتقبل هذه علمية فسهادي سيد أوجد وحنو آدي والدين توسو شيديننا سئلمه وناكسنادو إنه دعايو والدعاء الله بديو إلهي سبحانه وتعالى دين تا إسلام كلي إيمانك توصلنا في عنا معان إلهي سبحانه وتعالى إنه كهيو إنه كسوغو قار دين تودا قانو يشوف برتوك وعمل فلا رب سبحانه وتعالى إنه كدقو عقيدة في عن قارها من سن رب سبحانه وتعالى إنه كدقو قار سلاده دي دين تودا إلالية رب سبحانه وتعالى إنه أولادنا كدقو إلهي إنه هو يدينه قار وحويا الدنيا دودا كو انتفاعه وهرمري خيري وناك قال فسادك يا الشرك يا حمانته إلهي سبحانه وتعالى إنه كإلاليه دعوين كان نافعة واحترك له الدوني آخره الله وضب أولاده إنه قد عينه مركن أرجنو دقن كوضو حماضي مركن أرجنو هذا اللي ضو قلوعة فعل كوضو حنو ليته إلهي حقيس إنه عرنه إلهي إنه يدين إلهي يو هذيك أود له ربك يو هذا كون كما أمر عدو البابا ذيك عن هذا كوه سيرته إلهي والمهيجة وناجي إلهي والمهيجة إصلاح إلهي والمهيجة أود هذا يا كرم كار يا شرفت هذا يا قيمة هذا إلهي سبحانه وتعالى حنكوجي دي سرية إلهي المهيجة وناجي سو دعاء قلبك كسوق أي صو خالصة إلهي سبحانه وتعالى أنا كبر إنه وحن شك كتشرين مرضو أما مرفوق لبض مدون المهاسي بإذن الله تعالى إنه مركها جاي دور إن بدن أولاد النباتوين يا عريس يا وحي والدك كعريسية أي الله يلا كل ما يا هذا الكائن صباحا هالنقض هذا في عن وحويان دعاء المهم مركو إن جا أركو إنه قد عينينا وسجود يسجارة وقد عينينا وأشير إلهي سبحانه وتعالى إن هو يديسون إنه إلهي وناتشيو المهم هو كشعلان يا حقه وقصور دوانا يا متكأر دوب النقرية المهنة مركو إنه عارك إنه هبار إنه عاينة يا وإنه عريا وإنه عريا وإنه معيا بل الشرق يا حمان حقيسة يا المهاس أدري الدقيقة دعاء قيمها بدن تذكي هراء وناكسنا مركا أي كجعلو وعيد والد كيسة كمدا ولنتو ويتبي ترين ويكمرون ترين وحورين ترين ما أنت تير كمدا تير كي نلاش شيدا أيام ماشى كبحي لأن هو يدي أما أبيه أيام بنتي مر البنود دعاء ترين أو حدرام يا إن دعاء والد كيسة وايي oo geerida waalidkiisa uu geeriyooday ducadiisii uu ku waayay hayeshee wixii uu ka bartay waalidkiisa isagaa la imanayo isaguna wuxuu u ducaynayaa waalidkiisa iyagoo nool iyagoo dhintayba وقل رب ارحمهما كما ربياني صغيرا waxyaabaha adoonka loo aqbalo waxaa ka mid ah aw waladin saalixin yadcuu lah ilma fiican u soo duceeya miyaynaan rabin ilmaheenu inuu inoo soo duceeyo markaynu dhimanno oo ducada darajaadka kor laynoogu qaado inagu aynu u ducayno ilmaheena iyagoo yaryar iyagoon iman oo weli aan dhalan markay dhashaan markay weynaadaan iyagoo toosan kuwa waxa weeyaan qalloocsama dhammaantood ducada aynu u farabadinno waa sabab ilmuhu uu ku hagaagayo biidni illaahi tacaala ilaahay subxaana wa tacaala wanaaga hayna waafajiyo kuwii awlaadooda tarbiyad fiican ku tarbiyeeya rabbi subxaana wa tacaala haynaga dhigo dacawaadkeennana ilaahay subxaana wa tacaala haynoo ajiibo xalaqada xigta waxaanu sii wadi doonaa asbaabaha kale iyaguna ka qayb qaata ilmuhu inuu wanaagsanaado biidni illaahi subxaanahu wa tacaala وفق الله الجميع لما يحبه ويرضاه صلى الله على محمد وعلى آل محمد
hayay waa hayondaaye hayay haddii hamigaagii uu ahaa gaari casri aad ku xaragooto Hyundai ayaa kuula diyaar ah oo hamigaagii rumaysay hoyga baabuurta casriga ah waa Hyundai oo hore u soo gaar xarunta Hyundai oo aad ka heli karto baabuurtii u dambeysay oo casri ah oo 2025 ah waa Hyundai qiimo ku raali geliya oo bila ribo ah ayaad ka heli kartaa Hyundai oo ku taala wadada Morse Road gaar ahaan ka soo horjeedka dukaanka Goodwill waxaana kuugu diyaar ah shaqaalo Somali ah oo afkaagii hooyo kuugu adeega bal Saciido horay u wad gaariga Hyundai oo hadalka inoo hagaajiyay.
Assalaamu calaykum waraxmatullaahi wabarakaatuh. maanta waxaan joogaa kambaniga Hyundai waxaa Soomaalida ugu bishaareynaya kambaniga Hyundai Morris Road uu ku yaalaa gaarigan quruxda badan waa 7 seat haddana waxaa u maleysaa 4 seat inuu yahay cylinder gas badan ma cunaayo asoo 7 seat waxa waaye 4 cylinder wax gas uu cunaayo male waa u jeediin waa meesha gaaska ya waa waray ma sha Allah tabarakallah inaba caadi ma aha gaarigan waa Hyundai waa 7 seat waxaa la dhahaa centerfa waa u jeediin ma sha Allah tabarakallah aniga kanaan qaatay oon ku yaacay ma sha Allah Allah ku barakeeyo dhaa waa 2025 waa 10 years ama 100,000 mile is the warranty 3 years of free oil and wash and wax kasta dhaqistii oilkii kulli kana waa Elantra arkaysiin waa battery iyo gas isku jiro marka batteriga markoo baraf da'ayo ama aad qof sugaysid ama aad degdegsantaad shidatid gaaskaada uu ku safe garoobaa waxa kaliya oo ku shaqeynaya batteriga gaaska marka dhaqaaqdo wax yar uu soconaya laakiin waa isku dheelitiraysaa meesha adiga gaariyada kale aad ka isticmaashid 2 days ama 2 days and a half ama 1 day gaaska kan mar walba wuxuu dheeryahay 1 day 2 days marka isticmaalaysid kan wuxuu dheeryahay 3 days 3 days marka isticmaalaysid wuxuu dheeryahay 4 days waana Hyundai waa u jeediin waana black waa 4 cylinder ilmahaaga u qaadi kartaa teenagerka adaa qaadan karo aabaha kaligiis uu qaadan karaa marka ilmaha koraan oo kale hooyadii aabaha way qaadan karaan me and you camal waa u isticmaali kartaa fahant ma sha Allah Hyundai saa idin kugu sheegay gaarigan idin kugu soo sharaxay horay waa u jeediin 2025 waaye waxaan sugaynaa oo kaliya 2026 ما شاء الله تبارك الله dhexdiisan fiirineena quruxdiisa iyo completekiisa iyo sidoo yahay inaad macnaha qiimeynta Hyundai ee leedahay waxa waaye ما شاء الله waa gaari aad u qiimo badan wallahi bilaa dadka gaagaaban xataa saanay dhahaan waa jiida hore geesanayaan waa u jeediin idin kale waaye meesha gaaska marshadiisi gaari hore iyo gadaal u soconay xataa waa la sheegay kaas le ama qaataa baan oo kan iska dhaafaa
gaari aad adigu parking garay jirtay ama adigu aad wada jirtay hadii aad ku daashay mid isagu iswadaan ku haye soco waa u jeedaa ana wada stop haye dib u celinaya gaarigan waa u jeedaan beela tahay isagaas parking garayna you don't need ina adigu parking garaysid stop mustaagaya hadana again hore u soco isagaas parking gareynaya isagaas wada gaarigan Hyundai waaye Toyota hanaad ku ordaysiin waa laga ilbaxay anigu hadda Afrika joogi lahaa xitaa Toyota ma wateen soo Hyundai gaarigan indhaba caadi ahayn waaye hadii aad u baahan tihiin soo dhawaadan idin leeyahay gaariga isagaas parking gareynaya isagaas wadaaya lagama sheekeyn karo automatic waaye waa gaari 7 seat na leh te lagama sheekeyn karo
Hyundai waxay ku taalaa Columbus Ohio North Side Morris Road kasoo horjeedka Horizon Goodwill nawaakas Goodwill oo isla ka seenaa Soomaaliyeey iyo Horizon School kasoo horjeedkiisa waa Morris Road wadada dheer oo caanka ah waliba waxay ku magac dheertay Soomaalidu iyo yaqaan Morris iyo Cleveland laakiin Cleveland wax yar soo dhaafaysa waa Horizon School ma sha Allah tabarakallah kasoo horjeedkiisa waxaana la dhahaa Hyundai company waa big company ما شاء الله وكمباني وين قاري نوع بنوع كوهايا 2025 2026 كسو صعود حتى واهلي سينغاريو
Support for the African Debate Series has been brought to you by Ohio Immigrant Alliance, Columbus African Festival, Fork in Nigeria, and 83 Gallery.
Again, thank you everyone for being here today. We are thrilled to have you guys, and again, we know it's a Friday, but we can't thank you guys enough. But these debates are very, very important, and we needed to have it. Welcome to the inaugural African Debate Series. We are thrilled to have you join us for this exciting event that we explore critical issues that impact the African diaspora. My name is Mustafa Bayo. I'm from Guinea, West Africa. Alongside me is Tony, my co-host, and we are going to be your moderator for today's debate.
So, like you've mentioned, my name is Tony Adeshlu, and we're delighted to see such a diverse and engaged audience here today. The African Debate Series is all about providing a platform, a meaningful dialogue on topics that matter to our communities, both back home and in the diaspora.
Today's motion is, and this is very important because this is why we're here today. Resolve. The Democratic Party does not, very important, does not represent the interests and values of the African diaspora. Let me repeat that again. Today's debate, resolve. The Democratic Party does not represent the interests and the values of the African diaspora. This is a timely and important topic as the election draws to a close. And we examine the alignment of the two major U.S. political parties with our communities' diverse interests and values.
So here's how today's debate will unfold. Each debater will have 3 minutes for their opening statements. We'll then move on to the main debate, where each side will have 10 minutes to present their arguments, followed by a 5-minute rebuttal period. Afterwards, we'll open the floor to the audience for questions, and finally, each debater will have 2.5 minutes for closing statements.
We are excited to have two esteemed debaters with us today. Advocating for the motion, we have Shafi Shafat. If you don't mind, please, sir, so people can. Please, you can come take your seat as we are calling your names. So Shafi will present argument in favor of the Republican Party representation, focusing on economic empowerment, educational reforms, and alignment with the conservative values.
In opposing the motion, we have Mr. Demba Dief. Please give him a hand. Demba. Mr. Dief will argue for Democratic Party representation, highlighting historical support for civil rights, social justice, and diversity and inclusion.
Before we begin, some house rules. Just a quick reminder to keep questions for the audience when we get to that to the audience section, to keep your question concise and respectful during the audience engagement segment, and we want to ensure a productive and respectful discourse throughout the debate.
Thank you, Mustafa.
Thank you.
With that, let's dive into today's debate. Mr. Shafi, you first. You have the floor.
Thank you so much, audience and respected elders and comrades around here. It's a great honor to be here today, seeing this special motion where the African community are going to decide which party resonates with their culture. My name is Shafi Shafat, a Somali American and a former candidate in District 10 State Representative. It's an honor to be here today discussing why I believe the Republican Party best represents the values and the interests of the African diaspora. Our community deeply values hard work, faith, family, and self-reliance, principles that align with the Republican policies. The GOP commitment to economic empowerment is seen in its efforts to reduce taxes, cut regulations, allowing small business to thrive, Many African immigrants and their descendants are entrepreneurs and small business. Growth is essential for creating jobs, wealth within our community. By supporting businesses, owners, and reducing barriers, Republicans promote independence and prosperity over dependency. On the moral front, African Americans and immigrants highly value the sanctity of life and family beliefs that deeply rooted in our culture and faith. The Republican commitment to these values resonates with the African traditions and family-centered principles. In contrast, policies that sideline parents in decisions involving their children, like medical procedure, conflict with the respect for family and parental guidance that are so central to African culture and faith many of us practice. Education is also a key priority. The Republican stance on school choice empowers families to select schools that align with their values and offer the best opportunity for their children. This is crucial for African immigrants who see quality education as a pathway to success. Meanwhile, the Democratic focus on welfare programs, while well-meaning, can unintentionally foster dependency, limiting our community's ability to rise out of poverty. Finally, Republican foreign policy advocates for true economic partnership within African nations, focusing on mutual growth rather than dependency on aid, as we can see around. This approach not only benefits our families back home, but strengthens the connections that support our communities here in the US. Tonight, I ask you to consider these values: economic empowerment, family-centered policies, educational choice, and respect for our community will help our communities thrive. Most, I believe these principles reflect the spirit of African diaspora and a shared desires for independence and growth. I believe the Republican Party is the party that aligns with our culture. We came into the United States as people who were entrepreneurs before. We were never living in handouts. And today we have a party that resonates with that. That is the Republican Party. I urge all of you to consider that and live the African way in the United States so that we become Americans and we become taxpayers and we will not depend on handouts either from government or toxic charity. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So that was the motion that the Democratic Party does not represent the interests and values of the African diaspora.
Mr. Demba is going to...
Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here and to see all these beautiful faces. Thank you so much, my elder here, Mr. Shafi. In Africa, we respect the elders, so I'm just going to try to be a little bit nice with him. Not too much. Okay, my name is Dalmar. I come from Senegal. I am a son of an immigrant. My mom and my dad came here in this country after running away from war in Congo. And I was lucky enough to follow them and come in this country. I have a wife who's a U.S. citizen too, but originally from Senegal. I have 3 kids who were born here, who are U.S. citizens. So for me, according to this motion, I believe the Democratic Party aligns more with African diaspora's value and interest. The reason why I believe that, I'm going to give 3 main reasons. First of all, policy alignment. The Democratic Party has always been with the African diaspora or the black community alongside them since the Civil War, since the beginning. They're always, even though the Republican Party was founded, if we say, by people who were against slavery, later on it becomes something else. The Democratic Party nowadays and today, the party that we know today, aligns more with our values. He talks about family, he talks about economy, he talks about businesses. If you are not allowed to come in this country and stay and thrive in this country, you can't enjoy all of that. You can't enjoy a family, you can't enjoy economy. So the Democratic Party has more policies that aligns with our interests in terms of immigration, in terms of social justice. He talks about welfare, or people who depends on help. But when you first come to this country seeking for the American dream, everybody has a push. Everybody has some help. So you can stand on your feet and be on your own. Nobody want to stay dependent forever. And the African diaspora is full of people who do not want to depend on welfare. We are proud people. We know how to start businesses. You are a beautiful example of that. And then we don't need to depend on welfare or any help from the government. We want to do things and contribute to this country and be part of the people that build this country and make this a better country. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Support for the African Debate Series has been brought to you by Ohio Immigrant Alliance, Columbus African Festival, Fork in Nigeria, and 83 Gallery.
Thank you. So we've just heard our two debaters. Thank you for those fantastic opening statements. Our next segment is going to now take into our main debate, and this is where we're going to allow you guys the time to present the main your main arguments for or against the motion, and from there we'll have 5 minutes rebuttal if any of you have rebuttals to each other. So again, we started with Mr. Shafi. Maybe we start with Demba this time around.
Yes, thank you so much. So I was saying earlier that I believe the Democratic Party aligns more with our values and interests. And I was listing the reason. I work for an organization called the Ohio Immigrant Alliance. We focus on advocating for a more fairer and more human immigration system in the United States. Our organization work with immigrants that were deported during the Trump era. A lot of these people were stripped away from their families. Families were divided. People were taken into jail during COVID. Some of them were like people who lived in the United States for more than 20 years, paid taxes, never had any issue, and they were deported in very inhuman conditions. Some of them were chained up, feet and hands, and then they went to a lot, and they were sent back home. And then my organization, the organization that I work with, we fight to prove to the to show that these people were valuable contributors to the American system, and they deserve to come back. They deserve to be given a pathway to come back to this country and reunite with their families. Some of them left, and their family is now divided. And the reason why I believe the Democratic Party aligned with our interests and values is because the policies that they are putting in place, the policies that Kamala Harris has, the one that she's talking about, those policies will allow the immigration system to be fixed. We understand that there's a problem. We agree that something needs to be done, and we know Kamala Harris has the intelligence, and the Democratic Party has the resources, the intellectual resources to fix that problem for these immigrants that came to this country, and the one that are supposed to be in this country, that are, want to be in this country and respect the law of this country, to stay and remain in this country and not be considered as terrorists or whatever. That's one of the reasons why I think the Democratic Party aligns more with our value.
Thank you, Mr. Demba. Time is up. We're going to get to Mr. Shafi.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Demba. We will need to be having an honest discussion here. I'm an example. I came to the United States in mid-2014 with my beautiful wife and my 2 kids. I was given handouts by the city, food stamps, housing allowance. I had friends like me who came at that same time. And I managed to go to college. I graduated from Columbus State Community College with Associate of Science. I went to Franklin University with a Bachelor of Logistics Management. And I ended up becoming a business owner. I became a taxpayer. I get out of those handouts. And I dreamed the American way. When I saw where my life is ending, the friends that I came with are still depending on the government, on handouts, in a ghetto area. When I live in a ghetto area, when I live in a Section 8 houses, my son will go to a ghetto school, and he will become a gangster tomorrow. That's not the life we want. We need to have honest discussion. Africans, I came from Africa. I'm a proud African. And why I choose and I see this party resonates with the African culture on immigration purposes. When you look back, it was one of the Republican presidents, go back to history, remember, that allowed immigrants to be allowed to live in the United States. It's not the Democratic Party. I need to rectify that. So our people are misled by, it's the Democratic Party that gives you these values of living in the country. No, it was the Republican Party that gave us the value to live in this great nation and to live as people who will protect their faith, protect their children, and protect their livelihood. So the only way to do that is stay with the Republican values and live those values with it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you. So we have listened to both our debaters, and they both have made some great and awesome points. Now, are there anything that you guys want to add before we move on? Because it looks
Can
like...
I say something?
Oh yeah,
What
go
did you
go
say?
for it. Go
Okay.
for it.
Yeah, I want to say something. It's very interesting that you can make good points and contradict yourself at the same time. And that's what I think what he did. He's talking about the people he came with. He's talking about the people, his friends. I assume they were at the same level as him. And he's saying they're still in those ghettos. That's crazy, because are you saying you're the only one who succeeded among that group of people? I don't think, as a president of the Chamber of Commerce for Somali people, you can make those type of assertion, because the Somali community is an example of success for the African immigrant. 750,000 people. I did some research yesterday. It's a force. It's a big force. They can make a lot of stuff in this country. They can change election courses and a lot of stuff. And look at the Somali people, business owners. They make Columbus look good, to be honest. I love Somali people. I love what they're doing for this community. And I wish my community would, just like the Somali people. If we want to make everyone who does not like immigrant, we will point them out to the Somali people direction. You guys have state representative, officials, everything. And I don't think those people still live in ghettos. That means that the African diaspora people is full of people that come in this country, they get some push, the push that you want to fight, the push that your party want to fight against. And then they stand up as proud people, as sons of descendants of Mansa Musa, and they do something for the community they're in. That's what you did.
Thank you very much, Mr. Demba. Mr.
Thank you, Demba. Thank you so much for taking an example as the Somalis. I'm a Somali. I'm also the president of the Somali American Chamber of Commerce, which has more than 10,000 businesses within Central Ohio. The thriving we got. As you know that we don't go to banks. We don't go to banks because of our values. As Muslims, we're not allowed to do what's called riba. We do our own way of opening businesses and moving forward. What Demba is telling me is that Somalia is an example. Yes, we are an example. When our country belonged into war, we came here. When we were told to leave the way they wanted, the way the Democratic Party wanted, we said no. We said we have more than 10,000 smaller LLCs here in Central Ohio. The life we live is not the democratic way. They wanted us to live under the handouts of the social services, but we decided because of the African culture that we have, that was entrepreneurship, open a business. If you go to Nigeria, if you go to Ghana, if you go to even anywhere in Africa, you'll see small scale business that do businesses in a small scale area. So that means we are business owners. First of all, I'm not gonna go back to the immigration, I'm gonna go to the business. Yes, we are an example of the African community. Yes, we are. But how did we get there? Was through the help of the government? No. It was through the courage of having and believing in the faith and the cultures that we came from Africa. And those cultures resonate and aligns with the Republican Party.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, gentlemen, I want to jump to a point that we first started with. Mr. Shafi, you mentioned that the Republican Party aligns with our culture. Mr. Demba, you mentioned the Democratic Party aligns more with our values/interests, which kind of is the same, somewhat the same, which I think is the same to me. But if you like, would you like to counter what Mr. Demba is saying as far as the Republican Party aligning with our culture?
Yes.
Do you believe that?
I believe the Republican Party aligns with the African culture. It's wide and clear.
And if you can give specific example to help our
One
audience
example.
understand it.
Thank you.
And also an example of why the Democratic Party doesn't truly align with
Thank
our
you so much.
values.
One example. I'm giving you an example of my community. There is more than 29,000 Somalis that left the United States. You can follow up with the TSA or all the agents around here that left the United States either from Arizona, Minnesota, Atlanta, Georgia, Ohio, that ran away from the same party they voted for. Why? Because of the sexualization and this thing of calling your son can go to school today and your daughter will come back and tell my mom, I don't feel like I'm a daughter, I'm a boy. And I'm going to go away and just go and do surgery without your consent as a parent. That does not